This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by trainer Dave Coldwell here in Telford. Dave, I keep doing this sunny Telford. It's not sunny Telford, it's very murky Telford treating.
The closer I got to Telford, the more it started raining.
The more you wanted to turn around and go home.
Yeah, well, no, not quite.
Dave, oh, sorry, I'm here, I'm a local, you'll be okay. How's life treating you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad, thanks. Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Obviously, you've got young Dan Toward still there doing his interview, getting ready for his fight on Friday night. How's he been looking in the gym? How's camp gone?
Really good, really good. We've all been working. Funny enough, we were saying it doesn't feel as though we've only been working together like 5-6 weeks. I think it's 6 weeks when it comes up to the fight. Because we just gelled straight away, like literally from day one. He's a great lad to have around the gym. Personality-wise, he fits in great. Bit of a showman, I like that. I grew up around showman in the Ingles gym. He loves to express himself in sparring, and I think that's what fans are going to love about him. He wants to knock people out, but he likes to put on a little bit of a show and just whatever his mood is at that moment in time. And I like that. And yeah, he's fit in. He understands where I'm at with what I feel as though his adaptations to the pro game need to be, and he's taking on board. And he already most important. It doesn't matter what I think. Most important thing is that he feels as though he's already adapting and just little subtle changes into him already. So it's good.
I asked Sam Jones this, I'll ask you yourself as his trainer. When you look at Dan Toward, what separates him from the rest of a young talented fighter, young talented crop, maybe you have in your gym or further afield across the UK? What separates him from the rest?
He's quite unique in his boxing and his personality. He's not arrogant, he's not flash and gives it the big end, but when he gets in there, this personality comes out of him where he'll do whatever. He is a bit of a showman. But he's very, very fast, and he punches harder than what I thought he was going to do, to be honest. It's different. It's hard to pinpoint. That's a good question, that is, because it's hard to pinpoint what it is. He's not your usual sort of fighter, especially somebody that's this sort of size. You kind of might get this kind of style in the lower weight divisions, but not really in somebody that's, I think he's about 6 foot. Not somebody that's like 6 foot and 154 pounds.
Everyone I've spoken to today so far, in some way, shape or form, have said they want to steal the show on Friday night. I know the main thing is winning, but for you, for Dan, I imagine the same's there, but how does he go about trying to stand out from the rest?
So my only worry is that he goes out and tries to impress. Because if you try to impress, it'll be too tense and too, it don't quite come off as good. Your time is not as good, you don't flow. I want him to flow, because in sparring he's been flowing, and he looks great. It looks really, really good. It looks special. So I just want him to flow, and that's what I'm going to say to him. I don't want you to try and impress, because if you try and impress, you ain't going to impress. If you just be Dan Toward and just let it flow, people are going to love you.
Main event, Baraou Eggington, a 50-50 fight. Dave, can you give me your thoughts on it?
Good fight. Barou's very good. Oh, I'll be honest with you, I think it was his last fight, and I thought he looked really good. Really good. I like his jab, I like his power punching. He's very, very relaxed, sways in and out. He's very, very good. I think Sam's got to get on his chest and chew him up. And I think maybe I've only watched. I think it was his last fight, Konate or something like that. I can't.
Sam's last fight?
No, Barou's.
Okay.
So it was a stoppage win. It might not have been his last fight. It was a stoppage win about 5 months ago on YouTube. It was. So I watched that because I've not really seen anything of him, and I watched that. I was like, I like him, but does he like things at his own pace? And that's where Sam comes in, and he can't afford to let him have things at his own pace. If Sam still got it in him to chew people up and go to war and make him uncomfortable and sling those body shots in, this is going to be a great fight. But Barou's very good. I like him.
Dave, moving away from that, a few other topics to catch up on before I let you go. We've had an interesting couple of days on the Haney-Garcia tour. What have you made of it? Have you seen much of it? Has it been interesting?
I've only seen little clips. I've not had time because when it's fight week, I'm a little bit busy because obviously with the lads in the gym and plus with like travelling back and forth to Telford like this. But I've seen bits. Listen, Ryan Garcia is a confident kid. Devin Haney is a super confident kid. You know, the difference is his abilities. I just think that Devin Haney's ability and the weaknesses in the stylistically in Ryan Garcia, I think it makes for a really good. I think it's a perfect fight. Bill Haney is such a clever man, right? People don't like to give him credit. He's just a dad living through his, living through his son and all that sort of shit. No, he's a dad that seems to be getting the best out of his son and guiding his son the right sort of way. But he's the one with the personality. He's the one that's not afraid to offend people, insult people, cause a commotion, because everybody's talking about his son and himself. But I think to pick Ryan Garcia at this stage, coming off a really good performance, a brilliant performance against Regis Prograis, but really is a bit of a trade fight. I know it did good numbers and everything, but really, in the bigger stratosphere, it's a bit of a trade fight. To go for Ryan Garcia, who's got the social media presence and where everybody's heard of Ryan Garcia, whether you rate him or not, everybody knows of Ryan Garcia, got an opinion on Ryan Garcia. So in terms of profile, it's a perfect fight for him. Because if now he goes and puts on a dazzling performance against Ryan Garcia, it explodes. It explodes the Devin Haney name. So and that's what we need. We need superstars, and superstars need fights where their profile is going to be, catapulted to the next level than what they're on now.
Dave, moving forwards, a lot of talk, a few rumours on social media that Eubank Jr might have been in the frame for a potential Canelo fight. Callis Allen somewhat squashed that today when I spoke to him. What would you like to see next for him? Because the Kell Brook name's one which keeps coming up. Any interest in seeing Kell return for that?
But that's from a personal point of view, because obviously I've known Kell a long time. I used to work with Kell years ago, and I know where he's at now, and I wouldn't want to see that. For me, Kell going out on the Khan fight is a perfect one. I'm a little bit, not sad, because it makes no difference to me, but I'm a little bit gutted that doesn't seem to be enough for him to have just walked away and said, thank you, boxing, I'm done, finished where I want to finish, gone. Because he still seems to be like searching for something else, which is a little bit disappointing. Because I'd want him to be content. You look at people like Lennox Lewis when they walked away from the sport, nothing to bring them back. People might have said, "Oh, why didn't you come back and fight AJ or whatever?" He had no intention. As time's gone on, he's never even looked at coming back really. Nothing realistic. So yeah, in terms of Eubank, what I'd like to see fight next. I don't know. I think, firstly, what weight's he going to box at?
The other name's Janibek.
Without being disrespectful, I don't think he beats him. But weight-wise, can he still be strong at 160? I don't know. Can he still be strong at that weight? Because he's obviously he's getting older. As time's going by since his last fight, he's getting older. But then is he too small for 168? I think he needs to pick his fights right. I don't think there's any. I don't see where he fights for a world title. I don't see where there's any sort of scope for that. So it's like he needs, for him to fight again, he needs to be something that's name-wise.
I'd like to just let people know that isn't my light. There's an extra light which has been set up by Wasserman, so that's not me who's done that. Would you have any interest in a trilogy fight with Liam Smith?
Yeah, because I think so. All right, I'd be happy with that fight because that gives. There was obviously something wrong with Liam Smith, right? And I think for the career that Liam's had, he kind of deserves to. If he's to go out on a loss, for me, it kind of deserves to go out on a loss where he was able to give everything he's got, rather than be a man that's carrying. But this is where you run the risk. If you go into a fight, the thing is, fighters don't want to pull out, and they feel they can't pull out, especially when it's a massive event and things like that. But the problem is when you choose to go ahead with a fight when you're not 100% right, or there's something wrong, or then you run that risk where people are like, well, you shouldn't have fought then, you know. But I would like to see that. It's 1-1. Let's go again. Let's have a rubber match. That's a good shout, that is.
Away from all things Chris Eubank Jr, but sticking with the name of Canelo, Haney-Munguia and Edgar Berlanga seem to be the two front runners for May 4th bout now. Just your thoughts, what would you rather see? Would you like to see either of them?
Munguia more than Berlanga. Berlanga will get splashed. Yeah, I mean, Berlanga, first 16, 15 fights, knocking everybody out, then went 5 on points, kind of like you see, kind of that's where it's at. And then he's come back and he's had one stoppage against a good, what do you say, domestic sort of level, a level fighter. But then to jump up to Canelo, he's not done anything to deserve a crack at Canelo, other than the fact that Puerto Rico versus Mexico. So it'd probably sell on that fact, obviously. But no, I'd rather see Haney-Munguia, because you know that he's an exciting fighter. He's hard as nails. Do I think he beats Canelo? I don't know. Don't think so.
I've seen Eddie.
I want to see Canelo against Benavidez.
That's what I was about to bring up. Yeah. So
everybody else is getting mentioned apart from Benavidez. I'm a big fan of Canelo. You've boxed everybody. He's got a great resume. He's been amazing for the sport. He's done unbelievable numbers, pay-per-view, gates, money, all that sort of stuff. But the more that you're swerving Benavidez, and I'm not saying Benavidez beats you, but the more that you're swerving him, the further you're showing the gap between you and Floyd Mayweather. Because Floyd Mayweather's an old man. All right, because people say, oh, Canelo was on young. Yeah, but Canelo was already a world champion, and Floyd was already an old man, right? Already past his best, right? But Floyd took on that challenge and said, okay, I'll fight you. There you go. So Canelo, it's been amazing, and I'm a big fan of his. But and I'm more of a fan of his character, personality, and how he is than what I am as Mayweather out of the ring. Because all Mayweather talks about is his money. But I feel as though you're showing that that's the difference between that Mayweather mentality and Canelo. Take on that young buck, turn him back, and then you can go and say, do what you want. I just feel as though by picking a Berlanga who's nowhere near your level, never done anything to show that he's anywhere near your level, and Munguia, fair enough, that's a decent fight if Benavidez isn't around. But he is around, so fight him.
That is the fight which most people would like to see, Canelo and Benavidez. That is the one which gets mentioned the most. Just on the theme of David Benavidez, we've seen the WBC approve an interim fight with Gvozdyk, which not necessarily a bad fight, it's a good fight.
No, it's not a good fight. Why is it an interim?
The current title is Arto Beterbiev, so I don't know why. Yeah, I don't understand why they've made it an interim myself. But
final eliminator. This is where my problem is with these interims. Interims were brought in for when a champion's injured, to keep the title active, and then the interim champion's supposed to fight the champion. That's it. But just dishing out interim title shots just so somebody can go up and say, "Oh, I'm a 2-weight division champion" or whatever, or won his first title. Sorry. I don't get that. That's bollocks. So is it a good fight? Yeah, I don't mind the fight. It's a good fight, and I like how Benavidez is right. Okay, if Canelo's not going to fight me, I'll take a good challenge, and that's a good challenge.
All right, Dave, appreciate your time as always, and leave you to obviously enjoy that journey back up to Rotherham and miss out on an unbelievable night here in Telford. Thank you for speaking to me. You're back tomorrow, yeah. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.